Saffron a potentially lucrative crop for South African farmers, says country's first mover. Saffron is the world's most expensive spice, priced at between $5,000 and $10,000 a kilogram. Iran is the world's biggest producer, pushing out between 85% to 90% of yearly global production, followed by Afghanistan and India in a distant second and third spot. South Africa doesn't feature anywhere on the list of significant global producers, but when considering the arid landscape of the countries where the saffron flower thrives, one can conceive that it would be able to grow in certain parts of the country. Bennie Engelbrecht, former SuperSport producer who studied agriculture and, in 2013, at the age of 47, decided to swap the broadcast industry for farming. Engelbrecht didn't choose just any old crop to kick off his new career, but one that hasn't yet been produced in South Africa at scale, saffron. Following extensive research, he imported bulbs from the Netherlands and started the cultivation process in Pretoria. From here on, he moved to the Calvinia area, and then finally onto Piketberg in the Western Cape in 2023, an area he ultimately found to be well suited to saffron production. Today, Saffron is an agricultural company that cultivates and commercializes saffron, supplies acclimatized saffron bulbs to other farmers, and also supports local small-scale and commercial saffron farmers. It took 2 years before we could harvest the first saffron, says Bennie's son and Saffron marketing and strategic manager Bennie Engelbrecht. That first harvest delivered a steep learning curve, he adds. Saffron is called red gold for a reason. Each purple flower from a saffron plant produces only 3 tiny red threads, stigmas. The flowers must be hand-picked and the delicate threads pulled out by hand to dry, a process which sees the threads lose roughly 80% of their mass. The end result, the tiny, delicate, deep red dried thread, is called saffron. It takes about 75,000 to 150,000 flowers to make 500 grams to 1 kilogram of dry saffron. Another challenge with harvesting saffron is that you must collect the flowers within 24 hours of the petals opening to ensure the best quality product, explains Bennie. Also, when you finally reach the other side of the field, new flowers may have opened up where you started harvesting this morning, which means that you have to go back and rework the field. Harvest time is usually a non-stop process for a 3 to 5 week period in May and June. Harvesting saffron is such swift, back-breaking work that Saffron is currently testing the use of a wearable, powered exoskeleton device to assist workers with the continuous bending down in the sandy soil in which saffron grows in South Africa. It is not possible to mechanize the harvesting, as the work is much too delicate. It is, however, possible to assist the workers who harvest the flowers, says Bennie. During growth season, it takes between 25 and 30 people to bring in the saffron harvest. Saffron is a labor-intensive crop, and we regard this as a good thing in South Africa, says Bennie. Today, Saffron farms saffron on 5.5 hectares of land. Other South African farmers have also turned to saffron, but not on Saffron scale. We'll only buy saffron from other Saffron-certified growers, notes Bennie. Counterfeit saffron has become a huge issue in the international market. True South African saffron is some of the best quality in the world, he adds. The International Organization for Standardization says we produce Grade 1 saffron. We believe large parts of the Western Cape, Eastern Cape and Northern Cape are well suited to growing saffron. Saffron needs little water, around 350 millimeters for the entire season, says Bennie, with small fields able to deliver high yields. Western Cape saffron is also harvested when the province's traditional crops are typically still growing or dormant. Saffron's use is also expanding, says Bennie, which will boost production in the long run. It is traditionally used to season dishes such as paellas, biryanis, risottos. It is, however, also increasingly being rolled out in the health, wellness, and pharmaceutical industries.